Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? What's going on, good people? Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Give me a second. We are getting it together on the other device. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday, happy Thankful Thriving Therapeutic Thursday. Wow, man. Today is a bittersweet day. We're going to talk about it a little bit. But what's the deal? What's going on, good people? We're going to pull up this TikTok right here. Put up these notes on this side. You know what I mean? We're going to get this thing rocking. Let's go to TikTok right here. Open that up. You know what I mean? Go live on all the devices. You know what I mean? Episode 562. Just rolling. All right, we are live on all of the platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. What's the deal? What's the deal? It's your boy LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. You are tuned into episode 562 of SRDaily, Thankful Thriving Therapeutic Thursday, February 12th, 2026. We almost halfway through the month already. Saturday's the 14th. Then it is 2 weeks left in the month. That means it is 4 weeks left to my birthday. 42nd birthday. I'm on a fucking countdown to 42. I feel amazing. My vision is clearer than it's ever been, right? And not this vision. I can see really well. I've always been able to see, but I can like envision my path. I had a plan, right? And I worked my plan. My first plan was to figure out my fucking self, right? It wasn't about, because I grew like, when I came from prison and changed my life, right, it wasn't necessarily about money. I grew up with money. I had money. As a kid, my dad had money, my granddad had money, my uncles had money, my aunt had money, right? My siblings, I had some siblings with some money, all right? My brother in prison had money and was sending me shit. I hustled, right? I started hustling. So I had money. It wasn't, when I changed my life, it wasn't about, I need to make money to make money. It was like, I need to figure out who I am without money. Who I am separate from money, separate from anything material. I need to figure out who I was. So I went to the depths, all right? I went so far in the depths that my sister talked about my sneakers leaning. First time I've never had sneakers leaning. My sister talked about my sneakers leaning. My mother said I need to get some new clothes. This girl, this older sister rather, she was a woman. I was a fucking young boy. She was a grown woman. We was doing the nasty, right? At one point. But when I guess denounced money, and she saw me, she's like, yo, you fell off. And I did, right? Like, I wasn't dressing how I normally dress. I didn't have the same vibe I normally had. But I didn't care because I knew what I was doing. I knew I was going to find myself. I was going to connect deeper with me as a human being, as a spirit being, right? I was remembering my purpose. Like, why the fuck am I here? I'm not here just to make money. I'm not here just to quote unquote look good. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm not here just to have sex. I'm here for so much more than that shit. What is it? Right? And then as I rediscovered myself and as I built myself back up, of course I seen that same woman again and from across the basketball court. You know what I mean? Went over. She's like, you looking good. I'm like, I know. This is what I do, baby. Just because you saw me, the last time you saw me was in the transition state. I am who I am, right? I just had to figure out who I was outside of that. So now let's get back. Let's get back to being fly. Let's get back to having money, because now it's not about that. Where before, I'll tell you this, man. One thing that has happened to myself and a lot of my friends in the hood, right? We have money. We feel great. We don't have money. We don't feel great. Too many times a man's value, not even how other people value him, how he values himself is rooted in how much money he has. And if he doesn't have enough money, now mind you, yes, it's a thing about not being comfortable when you don't have no money, of course. But you should still love yourself when you don't have money. You should still treat yourself well when you don't have money. Where a lot of people don't have money and they go into a fucking slump and they go into a dump. And that shit is not okay, because like, you are so much more than your income. You are so much more than how much money you make. You are worth so much more than that, right? Your worth can't be measured. And so once I was able to refine that, reconnect with that, right? Yeah. I don't even know what led me down that tangent. But we here, Seth Hussein Kofa on the check-in. What's going on, my brother? It's a beautiful time. My spirit is up. All right. Dealing with some stuff. Got some stuff on the immediate horizon. Right. Next week, got some stuff I got to take care of in preparation for that shit that's on the horizon. But I feel fucking extremely great. It's a beautiful season. Pisces season is almost here. Right, next Thursday is Pisces season. The 17th is a fucking solar eclipse, and a lot of shit is shifting. I can feel a shift inside of me, and the stuff that's going on in my life that I have to prepare for, right? The shifts that I have to prepare for, the challenges that lie ahead are indicative of the universal shifts, right? Like, be careful what you ask for because it just may come, and you don't control how it comes. You cannot control how the shit shows up. You pray for something, right? You pray for abundance, right? You pray for a new home, right? You pray for a new relationship, right? You pray for a beautiful relationship. You pray for whatever it is that you pray for. Sometimes the shit that you have to let go of. It has to be taken away. The comfort that you have, the income that you have, the home that you have. You pray for a new home, but the home that you have, you attach to it. Sometimes the fire goes up. Sometimes you lose the job, you can't pay the mortgage. You lose the home. But you stay focused. 6 months later, a year later, 5 years later, you get the dream home that you prayed about. It's losses and wins, is losses and gains, it's wins and losses, it's failures and bounce backs. Life is like a dance, right? Life is a dance, right? Between here and now and then and tomorrow and before. You're constantly dancing, and the key is to find harmony. Find harmony in your steps. Find harmony with yourself first and foremost. Find your rhythm. Find your rhythm on the dance floor, and then once you find your rhythm on the dance floor, you find your rhythm with your partner. You find your rhythm with your business partners. You find your rhythm with your community. You find your rhythm with your family. You find a rhythm with those who are around you who want to also dance. And you dance to this motherfucking shit called life. You hear me? You dance and you have fun and you just dance and you just make beats and you play the drums and then you play the strings and right, like, come on, life is fucking sweet. Life is beautiful. Life is the best thing going, even when it's fucking challenging. And I've learned, I said yesterday to my young people, that the challenges, the most painful challenges, the shit that rips you a fucking apart, lead to the most beautiful experiences later on. This earth was formed violently. Our beautiful fucking our beautiful volcanoes, our beautiful mountains, our beautiful fucking valleys and streams and oceans, and all that we deem beautiful was created through violence, was created through loss, shit being ripped apart, earth being ripped apart. I'm just sharing some shit. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta take my word for it. You ain't gotta believe everything I say. You say this motherfucker crazy. That's cool. But I'm at peace. And I've been at peace for a while. And I'm at peace even while going through a fucking storm. And that's what it's about. That's what peace is. Peace is not the absence of the storm. Peace is being able to fucking center yourself in the middle of that bitch and be like, okay, the storm is happening around me, but inside here, and even though some shit may arise, I know how to settle that shit. Even though some anger, some pain, some frustration, some deep fucking sadness and grief may arise, I know how to settle that shit. I know how to reframe the thoughts that pop up in my head, because all thoughts ain't your thoughts, and some of your thoughts today are connected to the person that you used to be. That motherfucker's still speaking. Chill, little Ray Ray. I got this. You okay? It don't mean that. She ain't that. It's okay. It's all good. He ain't that. It's all good. It's family. It's okay. Breathe. Easy. Easy does it. Easy fucking does it. All right. But yo, listen, man, that was a fucking tangent. If I ever went on one, Mona Love on the check-in, baby girl, what's the deal? My man Javon Lomax on the check-in, my brother, the motherfucking one of the greatest brothers I've ever met in my life. That brother Javon Lomax is a different animal, man. He's whoo, baby. I like to say, and I got goosebumps because I'm gonna say this shit publicly, just like I would say, I tell Kimona all the time, she's a better person than me, right? Like I overstand now when they say better half, right? Like she's a better person than me. I think this brother Javon Lomax is a better person than me, right? Yeah, he's a special person. He's a special being. If you don't know who Javon Lomax is, look him up. Get to know him. All right. The Circle Keeper, restorative justice, men's healing, emotional well-being in depth, mental health and wellness. Right. He's been on a fucking physical health transformation. Right. He's reading fucking 7 books already this year. Right. He's a father. He's fucking incredible, man. Fucking badass poet. If you don't know who he is, get to know Javon Lomax. You heard? Look him up on fucking. We ain't even promoting that other fucking social media because they banned my live. But find them, Javon the Circle Keeper, Javon Lomax. You know what I mean? And get to know the king. But listen, man, we're gonna actually get the show started. I got some notes I want to get into with you guys, man. Hold on, let me pull this other thing up because we're gonna read some other shit from this page. But I hope you guys are doing well. Again, like the weather is getting better in New York City. The sun is shining. The fucking ice is starting to melt. It's warmer outside. The sun is yeah, it's a beautiful time to be alive, man. I tell you that. Let's go start with our first segment of the day. Today's first segment is a word of the day. Today's word is rehearse. Rehearse is our word for today, and rehearse is defined as a session of practicing a play, concert, or speech, etc. Important. In preparation for public performance. To say again, once again, to practice in preparation for public performance. To practice in preparation for public performance. Let me say that one more time. To rehearse means to practice in preparation for public performance. What are you rehearsing? Are you rehearsing like the rest of the world? Your losses, your failures, the worst possible scenario? What if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't this? Are you ruminating on that shit? Are you ruminating on it not working? That's one of our biggest problems in life. It's not what happens to us. It's how we deal with what happens to us. And unfortunately, as humans, because of all of the influx of low vibrational information and fucking frequencies and fucking beta waves and all of that shit, because of all of that, we have been conditioned to think the worst, to imagine the worst. And then when the worst happens, we are found true. Like, I knew that shit wasn't going to work out. No, it works out. It works out. You can rehearse success. You can rehearse you getting that fucking $1 million check. You can rehearse you getting everything you've ever wanted. You can rehearse your wedding day. Even if you've been divorced, even if you have children by multiple partners and none of it has worked out, you can still rehearse your wedding day. You can still rehearse a healthy relationship. You can still rehearse reconnecting with your parent who you've been estranged from. You can rehearse reconnecting with your children who you've been estranged from. You can rehearse reconnecting with your sibling that you've been estranged from. You can rehearse the beauty, the goodness, the greatness, the fucking sanctity and beauty of life. You can rehearse that. Why not rehearse that? Why not rehearse your wins? Why not rehearse your massive success that drastically changes the trajectory of your entire family tree? Why not rehearse that shit? This matters. What are you rehearsing? What are you repeating in your mind? What the mind focuses on, what the mind repeats and focuses on is what comes true. Quote unquote manifest. A lot of us, I know I manifest. Yo, listen, man. I used to dream a couple of times, at least once a year. Sometimes 2-3 times a year if I could remember. I used to dream about getting shot in front of my building. I used to say, listening to all that fucking crazy hip hop music, listening to Tupac and all of this shit. I used to be like, yo, I'm gonna get shot. And what happened? I got shot in front of my building. I rehearsed. I'm gonna say this shit. I rehearsed getting married and divorced quickly. I said 2001, I'm 17 years old. My brother Leroy Naki, my biological brother, gets married September 3rd, 2001. I'm 17 years old. Our father had already been gone 6 years. I've already thought about fatherhood. I've never really thought about marriage. My brother gets married. I see how his wife is crying for him. I see the wedding. I'm like, I want to experience that. I want to get married. I said, I want to get married, even if just for the wedding, even if I just get divorced soon after. What happened? I got married in 2015, right? 2015, April 26th, I got married. By February 2017, we were split. By 2019, we were divorced. I said that shit. I've rehearsed being separate from my children. I rehearsed that shit. But you know what else I rehearsed? I rehearsed what I'm doing right now. I rehearsed being a world healer. I rehearsed being a global speaker. I rehearsed being a world renowned author. I rehearsed being a fucking mental health practitioner and coach. I rehearsed being a spiritual guide for millions of people around the world. I rehearsed that shit. And so here we are, living in the results of my rehearsal. The good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Like, it's all part of the process. What the mind focuses on, what the mind sees vividly, it brings forth, it brings into fruition. So you got to be mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of not just your words, not just your actions, but your thoughts, because your thoughts lead to your words lead to your actions define your habits, right? Your habits define your life. All right, but the thoughts, it starts with a fucking thought. And before a thought, it starts with a breath. Make sure you're breathing right. This is why your breathing is important. Make sure you're breathing right. You can't think clearly if you ain't breathing clearly. And to breathe clearly, sometimes you got to get out of the noise. Sit with yourself. The friends, the parties, the family, the games, the social media. Cut all of it off a little bit. Sit with yourself. Learn how to breathe. Learn how to breathe. So the toxic thoughts that are bringing you to a toxic reality that you say you don't want, right? You can repel them, get rid of them, because like every action is an equal and opposite reaction. So proper thinking, yes, brings proper breathing brings proper thinking, but proper breathing also brings all thought, because everything's coming in. You got to be able to repel that shit. The law of repulsion, not just attraction, right? You attract the thing that you want, but you also attract the thing that you don't want. You got to be able to push that shit off. Right? Again, like it's like martial arts. This shit is a dance, y'all. This shit is la 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 la. Yo, I feel so amazing. I feel like I'm high, but I'm not. I ain't smoked weed in about 6 months, right? Yeah, I feel like I'm high, but I'm not high. I'm high on life. And it's crazy because I woke up actually with extreme clarity. Right, I fell asleep on my couch last night, woke up, came to my bed like 4 a.m, went back to sleep, still had my clothes on fully, my fucking tie and all that shit, but I woke up in extreme clarity, and it was a moment there. Again, some stuff came up and I was like, okay, all right, let's get up now, let's get the show done, and let's get on with the day, right? But let's move right along to our second segment of the day. Today's second segment, Need to Know News. Today's news is on people's emotional regulation, right? People's emotional regulation or inability to do so absolutely impacts you. And we are going to read how. Sefu said, I am able to walk on the sidewalk. I don't know what that means, brother. That's like a metaphor. Or like you really able to like walk on the sidewalk. Yeah, I don't get it. But let's go to this IG post. Right, when you're around someone with low emotional regulation, their mood becomes your problem, and you feel chronically anxious in their presence. I've experienced this. I don't know about you guys, but I know I have, right? And I know that I've probably been this for others. When someone can't regulate their emotions, you always feel like you're in trouble, but you don't know why. When overwhelmed, they will give you the silent treatment, lash out, shut down, become Jekyll and Hyde. You never know which version of them you'll get. Over time, your nervous system goes into sympathetic dominance around this person. Even their presence can create a fight or flight response in your body. This happened to me yesterday. I went somewhere, someone who I know and love, they have no emotional regulation. I've been in spaces with them and they have flipped out completely. They have some some mental health challenges that they're not addressing. They're not getting help for, right? They I don't know what they think, but they've been drowning themselves in alcohol, weed, pills, and all of that shit. right? They haven't gotten the help that they need mentally nor emotionally, right? And there hasn't been any push either from the people around them really to get them the help, right? I tried at one point to get them help, literally took them to a fucking mental hospital, right? Like they was in there for 3 days, but then when they sobered up, they're very intelligent. It was like, nah, I'm not thinking about hurting nobody. Nah, I'm not thinking about doing this. They let them go. They called me, like, yo, listen, we letting it. I'm like, yo, but like the person is, I feel unsafe. These other people feel unsafe. The person has created this harm in the community, right? Like they're not okay. I'm telling you, they're not okay. I know this person very well. They're not okay, but the system is kind of fucked, man. But it's like a beautiful fuck because like people should have agency, but like some people don't have the ability to be honest and transparent, right, and vulnerable with folks who they don't know, and so they manipulate and they lie, and some people are very fucking, yeah, they're really good, right? But anyway, you become an expert at emotional monitoring, noticing every shift in their mood. The minute they get quiet or irritable, you try to soothe or calm the situation. How many people have been there with the parent, with the spouse, the sibling? Depending on what triggers a shift in their mood, you will try to keep everything neat or clean, give them pep talks anytime they're disappointed, keep things from them because of the fear of their reaction, ask other people not to mention certain topics around them, make excuses for their behavior, and try to downplay their reactions. Can anybody relate? Anybody? This will be normal to you, especially if you've been raised in a home where you had to emotionally monitor a parent. You learned that adults cannot self-regulate, and it's your role to regulate for them. I've been there. Over time, you lose yourself. Your needs become too much. Your emotions feel inconvenient. And as you overfunction for them, you abandon your own safety. No one should require you to live in fight or flight. You are not responsible for regulating another adult's nervous system. Healthy people allow you to feel safe, even when frustrated, disappointed, or overstimulated. Authentic love says, I will learn how to regulate my emotions so that you do not need to tiptoe around my impulsive reactivity. How powerful is that shit? Can anybody relate? Did anybody understand what we were talking about? A person's lack of emotional regulation, the inability to emotionally regulate themselves absolutely becomes your problem. Whether you are a parent of a child like that, right? You do have a responsibility for them. Whether you are a child of a parent like that, you are a sibling, that's a spouse that you have, a partner that you have, a friend, right? Like people's inability to regulate their emotions becomes your problem. Can threaten your freedom, can affect how you live, your livelihood, right? It does affect your livelihood, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. It affects you financially. It affects you in all of the fucking ways, right? But let's move right along to our third segment of the day. Today's third segment is a tip of the day, and I want to remind you all this tip. When going through a difficult time and you cannot see the end result as a win, it is extremely important to focus on the small wins. Hear me once again. When you are going through a difficult time and you cannot see the big win, the end result, right? It's extremely important to focus on the small wins, the day-to-day wins, the waking up on time, the doing the workouts, the eating a healthy meal, all of the small things. The small things that you said you would do is very important to focus on those small wins when you're going through a very difficult time. Especially, like it's always important to focus on those small wins, but especially it is more important when you are going through a difficult time and the overall arch of your life feels like it's caving in. Focus on the small ones. Focus on the small ones because number one, it will help your nervous system, right? You're getting some wins, right? And energetically, it can help you in the long run by compounding wins, right? The law of compound interest, right? The law of accumulating wins, the law of accumulating, like it accumulates. The wins today, the small wins today become the big wins of tomorrow. The small wins of today accumulate, they grow, they compound. They lead to a bigger victory tomorrow. You have to notice this is wisdom. This is key. This is science. All right, this is science. This is life. This is life. All right. So So yeah, man, like do that shit and do that shit and focus on the shit that you're doing and focus on the small wins, focus on the smiles, focus on the laughter, focus on the joy that you are experiencing from moment to moment. Again, even if 90% of your day is filled with chaos and stress because you're trying to figure this out, you got that going on, cool, that 10%, make that 10%, extract 100% of that 10%. So that 10% tomorrow becomes 15% because what you focus on expands, right? What you give attention to, what you focus on and repeat and rehearse in your mind expands. 100% it does. 100%. All right. So yeah, man. Let's move right along to our fourth and final segment before we get out of here. Said Food said you just explained my ex-wife. Yo, I explained my ex-wife too, right? Yeah, man. And it's crazy, right? Like I've learned that a lot of people throw names out and call people names, right? This person is that. And I realized, and again, like it's a lot of times. So I told the young people, right, something recently. I was like, yo, when I was younger, people talk about my gap teeth. I got teeth, spaces in my teeth, right? I had blotches on my face, light spots on my face when I was younger, a dent in my head. And people talked about me, right? My friends. I realized that the people who talked about me, right? And mind you, I had, up until a certain point, I had both parents until my dad passed. We traveled, right? I was part of Fresh Air Fund. I had siblings that we did shit together, cousins that we did shit together. I had older siblings from my dad that would come around, right? Like I had uncles. My uncle was a boxer. My other uncle was a corrections officer, right? Like family. So I realized a few things. One, the people talked about my teeth had black gums, right? Black gums, stink breath, right? The people who talked about my face had fucking other body issues, right? The people who talked about my dent in my head may have had family issues. The pops ain't there. The pops and moms is fighting. The moms is on drugs. Like, people talk about you because they got shit going on that they don't want to talk about within themselves. So people call you names. People do certain things, right? Exes do certain things, put certain things out there because they got some shit going on with themselves that they ain't really faced yet. And they ain't being honest with themselves about this shit. And so they pass the buck and blame you. And I realized this shit ain't got nothing to do with me, dogs. I'm not taking this shit personal. It's not about me. I'm just like a subject. And it's okay. I'm gonna take that shit. I'm gonna transmute that shit. I'm gonna get rid of that shit I need to get rid of. Right? You don't gotta make everybody's fucking problem your own. Especially when it's like that. Right? But let's move right along to our fourth and final segment of the show before we get out of here. Fourth segment, build of the day. Today's build, nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And even good things must come to an end. Every ending is a new beginning. This is the mindset we must have. This is a truth. We must accept these things as such. The memories last. The lessons learned last. The impact made last. Know that sometimes something good falls apart or ends so something greater can come together. Trust this process. Trust this process. Trust this process. And with that, I will say that today is very bittersweet because it is our last food distribution in Queensbridge for now with Connected Chef. Grocery box distribution. We've done juice and plays. We've done the urban market, the farm stand. We've had an incredible 3 years. Today it comes to an end. But that's only temporary because we're going to figure out a way. It has not been sustainable for us. It has not. We have not served the greater community. We've only done 47 boxes a week, which is 10,000 people in Queensbridge, right? Free boxes, right? We do have a sliding scale subscription method where, like a CSA, you can pay $20, $25 and get a box delivered to your home. Fresh fruits and vegetables, groceries that's locally sourced from farmers upstate, BIPOC farms, Black, Latin, people of color farms, right? Harvested the week of, so it's super fresh, right? It is delivered right to you as long as you are in Western Queens, right? Western Queens. But yeah, today's the last day, man. Bittersweet, right? But again, sometimes you got to step back. You can come back stronger. We got big vision, big plans, big things we want to do, big things I want to do, and we're gonna get this shit done. right? You gotta step back sometimes. And yeah, I was about to tear up, man. This shit is. I love my community. I love being out there on Thursdays. The people look forward to it. But again, I know that we gotta figure out a better way for us as an organization, be more sustainable, and we gotta figure out a way to serve more people. Serving 47 people in a community of 10,000, where let's say even 200 need real support, 500 need like real support. We got to figure out a better fucking way, man. So yeah, man. Listen, man, that's the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. You are tuned into episode 562 of SR Daily, episode 562. Please do join us right back here tomorrow, same time, same place for episode 563 of SR Daily, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and TikTok Live, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Same time, same place, same channel. New vibe. Tomorrow is actually also my 3-year anniversary of my sobriety. No alcohol for 3 years. Never drinking alcohol again. If you knew me before, I wasn't necessarily a drunk, right? Because I didn't like hang out in some liquor stores. I didn't like, but I drank, and I drank too much, right? I drank way too much, and I'm grateful for my progress. I'm grateful for my growth. I'm grateful, especially that I stopped drinking, because some of the shit that I went through in the last 3 years, if I was drinking, I might have made some different decisions, and life would be completely different right now. So I'm grateful. Life works out the way it works out. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get myself together, do some things, and before I head to Queensbridge, food distribution, 12 o'clock. If you're in the neighborhood, come through, man. It's a beautiful day. May do this shit outside. May tell people to come outside, right? Just do the shit outside. Cause that's how we normally do it. We normally do the shit outside. We normally have the music bumping. You know what I mean? We might do that shit today because this is a fucking nice day. We've been going inside because of the winter. But we might do this shit today outside, man. Like, come outside. Let's fucking party. Let's turn the fucking music up. You know what I mean? We're going to bring some, I'm going to make some food, actually. That's why I get my shit together. I'm going to make some roasted potatoes and some veggies, man. Got some bowls to just give out some food to some people. Yeah. Eat on the spot. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of food, man. Let's put some music on and let's have a fucking party, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for everything. And tomorrow we're gonna actually party at my crib. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. If I'll make a post today, we're gonna do a panel tomorrow on sobriety. Tomorrow afternoon. 3 fucking years, man. 3 years of a motherfucker like me not drinking. And like, I used to drink. Yo, I love you guys, man. Remember, it ain't getting knocked down that's the problem. It's staying down. So get up! The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Peace and love.